What if I told you that there is a secret from World War II that no one ever talks about, and that there was a hidden army, a secret hidden army that was helping the Russians to defeat one of the most powerful military forces in history? And that's not a tank or some sort of a top secret weapon. It's basically something way, way simpler, something that you probably cannot even imagine. So stick around because this secret is about to change the way you think about your finance or your life. Or at least when I read this story, that's how it changed my whole perspective about planning and finance and everything else. So first, let me take you back to World War II. Picture this. The Nazi Germany is marching across Europe. It seems to be very unstoppable tanks, planes, and all their mighty military. But then something quite unexpected happens. In Russia, when Germany thought they had it all in the bag, things started to go wrong in a way no one could think about. You see, the Russian secret army wasn't a military force per se. It wasn't made of soldiers either. It was the unseen army. Rats. Yes, rats. The very type of rats that you might see in the very filthy and dirty corners of big cities. And yes, I'm exactly talking about those same rats, and maybe in the basement or garage of your house. Hopefully that's not the case, but those are some common spaces you may find them. But these rats were not very ordinary critters. They were about to destroy the German war effort. So you see, the German advance, they didn't anticipate a random invasion. And guess what those rats did? They basically chewed. They chewed through the wiring in German tanks. That's right. The very moment that the Germans realized that they need their tanks and they were going back to use them, they noticed that none of them are basically working. And this is even before any single one of them had fired anything. So imagine brand new tanks were rendered entirely useless because of what? Because of just some seemingly impossible things happening, the rats. And this was a very shocking story that I read in the book Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, which I highly and highly recommend to everyone to read this book. It's been a New York Times best-selling book, and I personally had read a lot of, maybe not a lot, but a good degree of books on the World War history, and I had learned a lot of things, but this was very shocking and in the same way, very funny. Now, you might be wondering, what do rats have to do with my money? Well, it turns out a lot. There is a lot. The lesson from this rat attack is a financial one. You cannot predict what will go wrong in life or business. Unexpected things, things that you cannot control happen. And those can easily sneak up on you, just like the rats chewing through carefully laid plans. And trust me, it's not a matter of if something unexpected will happen. It's a matter of when. So when I was talking to some family members about what I learned, I remember that one time I said that, do you know what is the best plan? The plan that plans for the times that the plan does not go according to the plan. I know that sounded a little bit weird. Let me repeat again. A very good plan is the one that plans for the times that the plan does not go according to the plan. And this story was very capturing for me, and so it really drew my attention, and I really learned this in a very interesting way. So just like the Germans thought they had everything under control, we sometimes believe our plans are foolproof, but life throws surprises our way. financial setbacks, unexpected costs, or even global crises that are outside of our control, right? So lesson number one is about diversifying your financial plan. One of the biggest lessons is that you cannot just put all your eggs in one basket, that old saying, and the idea that we should be flexible, which is the second lesson. So the Germans weren't prepared for rats to mess up their plans, but they should have been. In business and life, we have to be adaptable, and adaptability is a very empowering mindset or characteristics, whether it comes to professional life or personal life. And the third lesson that I can see here is always planning for the long term. So knowing that things like those little rats come in times, and being adaptable and flexible and diversifying your plans, even if it's about other aspects of your life, um, those all can really help us. So, if you're enjoying these mind-blowing lessons, I think you can certainly consider subscribing. Just like the rats took down the Germans, I think you don't want to miss out on the next surprise tip that I drop. So, looking forward to hopefully reveal another secret in future videos if I can continue to make. And speaking of lessons, if you want to dive deeper into the psychology of money and how it can change your life, get your hands on Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money. I'm gonna drop the link to his book in one of the comments. And again, this was just one of my very own personal takeaways. And again, this is just my perspective on that story, something that really stood out in my mind, and I learned a lot of things, but probably this is the very first thing that really stood out most. So there you have it, three lessons from World War II that you can your financial future today. Again, don't forget, plan for the unexpected, stay flexible, and always have a backup plan. And if you want more tips like this, subscribe now. And hopefully you'll thank me later. Well, that's it for today. Thank you.